And you see how genius the Bhagavad-Gita is teaching you the most important things in life. Redefine success. Re-understand who you really are. Reposition your lifestyle and remold your mind. And people tell us, I read the Bhagavad-Gita when I'm 70. How can you live life without this knowledge? This is what most people are doing, and therefore most people are going nowhere fast. We're coming to now the end of the first 6 chapters of the Gita. Krishna just told Arjuna to reposition his lifestyle. And basically, Krishna has convinced Arjuna. Arjuna is intellectually convinced. There's only one problem, and that problem is the mind. Put your hand up if you have a problem with your mind. Thank you. And for those of you who didn't put your hand up, we have a seminar in truthfulness. Dhyan is the title of chapter number 6. Dhyan means meditation. Dhyan can also mean focus. If you want to achieve anything in life, you have to be focused. You have to be one-pointed. Whether it's material or whether it's spiritual, your mind can't be everywhere. Your mind has to be in one place. And therefore, Arjuna looks at Krishna and says, intellectually it all makes sense, but my mind is mad. And I don't know, can I really live in this world and control my mind and achieve the spiritual perfection you want me to? Krishna then says, okay, then I will teach you by impossibility. This is a technique you can use. If you ever want to teach someone something, you can tell them all the benefits of doing it. And if that doesn't work, then tell them the alternative and how that will never work. And therefore, Krishna says, okay, you don't want to live in the world and control your mind, you don't think it's possible, then it means you have to go to the forest. And in the forest, you have to do Ashtanga yoga. You have to become a tyagi, a renunciate. And let me tell you what that entails. So here, Krishna begins to teach Arjuna by impossibility. And in this chapter, Krishna teaches the most important knowledge, perhaps, which is so pertinent in the world today, because the biggest problem in the world today is mental health. So, today, I want to do a live mind scan of one person in the room. I am going to give you a free consultation. I'm going to scan your mind. So I'm thinking, actually, maybe we can have Vaishnav. Is Vaishnav here? Would you like to all know what's going on in Vaishnav's mind? Would you like us to scan his mind? Give him a round of applause. Let's have Vaishnav here. Is he here or is he here? Okay, so Vaishnav has been doing a lot. He's balancing a lot in the world. He's our Arjuna. He has 2 very wonderful children. He's a married man. He marries many, many more people as well. He's part of the management and the leadership here, and he has the best dress sense. I think so. Okay, Vaishnav, we're going to do a little scan of your mind. Start, chanting the Maha Mantra in your mind to start purifying it and, other things. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a continuum. And I want you to tell me where on the continuum do you think your mental state is generally at. So, for example, do you feel mentally you're more in the mode of comparing, criticizing, and competing? Or more in the mode of appreciating and encouraging. Now we know you're both, Vaishnav. You're a nice person. We know that. But we want to know what's internally going on in your mind. Where would you say you are along this continuum? What is your general mental state? Can you point to us and tell me? I want to know somewhere along the line. Where would you say roughly you are? Okay, about here? Here? Okay. I think that was a bit more to the comparing side than you said, but my hand never lies. Okay? Do you feel your mental state is more looking for short-term gratification, or are you more fixed on long-term? Where do you think you are?
Long-term.
Can I sit closer?
Okay, 70% in?
Some here, somewhere here. Like here?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. He's not humble as well. Do you feel your mind is distracted and many-branched, or do you feel like generally you're very attentive, very focused? I've been in meetings with you, so don't.
Depends on what part of the day, but maybe 40%.
40% in, somewhere here?
A bit more.
I can't cross it out now, it's done. What's done is done. Do you generally feel your mental state is controlled by fear? Oh, something's going to go wrong, it's going to go wrong. No, this great opportunity, but what could go wrong, what could go wrong? Or do you feel you're generally inspired by dreams? Yeah, let's give it a go, let's try.
20%.
Okay.
Fear of God. And the wife.
BMF training. Do you feel you're overthinking and procrastinating a lot? Or do you feel that you analyze, weigh it up, articulate, and then act?
Say 70%.
Here. Okay. You can all do this mind scan, by the way. And do you feel you're generally rigid and attached? Like you have an idea in your mind, it must go like this, and then you're attached to it. Well, things change, life changes. Well, let's go with the flow.
Don't have a choice, about 90%.
You're flexible. No, not don't have a choice. In your mind, would you like to have a choice?
Oh, maybe 80%.
Vaishnav Das, this is your mind scan. I'll give my fees later. Now let me give you my consultation. Your mind could be in order, could be being the operative word. Your mind could be on the border, or your mind could be out of order. Ladies and gentlemen, give him a round of applause for being so honest. Friends, where would you be on the mind scan? Where is the mind tending? On the border? Out of order? The mind is so difficult. This is the one thing that is driving your experience of life every single day. The mind. And the mind has a tendency to magnify, isn't it? Someone can say one bad thing about you and you lose complete self-esteem. Or you make one mistake and you tell yourself, I can never do it again. Sometimes what the mind will do is it will minimize. So many great things are there in your life, but the mind will not allow you to bring it into focus. The mind will invent, isn't it? You just look at someone and you say, look at the way they walk. Clearly, and we make a whole story about someone based on the inventions of our mind. The mind is very, very negative. Always looking at the bad. Always seeing what could go wrong. Always feeling that I'm a victim. And the mind is very, very distracted. Can't concentrate, can't focus. Once I was giving a class and someone said, brilliant class. I said, what did you like? He said, you ended on time. The mind is very difficult. And if we don't learn how to control the mind, life will be very difficult. And shall I tell you what? Added to the mind is social media. Social media means more distraction, more temptation, more misinformation. Mind plus social media equals mind squared. Trust me. Krishna is teaching Arjuna how to deal with the mind. And Krishna is saying, Arjuna, you want to go to the forest and you want to meditate? You think you'll be able to control your mind? Let me tell you, Arjuna, what you have to do. If you want to go now in January, there will be Kumbh Mela. I've been to Kumbh Mela 12 years ago. I saw all the yogis. I saw the Naga Babas. I saw how they practice. And what do? Ashtanga Yoga. They go into seclusion and they do yam, niyam, asana, pranayam, pratyahara, dharana, and then dhyan comes. And from there, samadhi. Modern yoga in Harrow Leisure Center is just this. Modern yoga has lost its soul. There's no soul. They're just taking two things out of a bigger practice and then helping people on some level. I don't want to also say it's a bad. It can help on some level, but it's only part of it. Krishna is saying to Arjuna, you have to do this, all of this. Sit on a deer skin, go in the forest, practice celibacy, close your eyes so that they're not fully shut but not fully open. Stare on the tip of your nose. Try it for 1 second. Stare on the tip of your nose. I just want to see what it looks like. 500 people trying to try it for 1 second. Go on, try. Stare at the tip of your nose. You have to do it for hours. Arjuna says, Madhusudan, Krishna, this system of yoga is impractical, undurable. I can't do it. It's not possible. The mind is too unsteady. How will I be able to control the mind? Arjuna says, Vayuriva sudushkaram. To control the mind is more difficult than controlling the wind. And what does Krishna say? Asamsaya mahabaho manodur nigraham chalam abhyasena tukonteya vairagyena chagriyate. Beautiful. Krishna says, you can do it, Arjuna. But what do you have to do? You have to stay in the world and you have to do spiritual practice and you have to learn detachment. The two magic words here are abhyas and vairagya. If you do these two things, then you can learn to control the mind. See, the mind is always moving. It's like this. Okay. Go to work. Boom. Man United are going to get relegated. Boom. Boom. This is how the mind is going. Every day. Roller coaster. So, what does Krishna say? Abhyasena tukonteya vairagyena jagriyate. You need to practice and you need to learn detachment. So, what Krishna is saying is that when your mind is peaking, relax. Vairagya. And when your mind is steady, then absorb your mind in abhyas. And then the mind will peak again. Don't worry, vairagya, just tolerate it. Every time the mind comes up with something, you don't have to act on it. You don't have to take it so seriously. Krishna is saying after some time it will go. And then remold your mind through abhyas. And if you keep doing this, then eventually the mind becomes steady. Krishna says, you become a sage of the steady mind. Say Hari Bol if you'd like to become a sage of the steady mind. We all want to. This knowledge Krishna is giving for free in the Bhagavad-Gita. Yet the whole world is traveling around trying to understand the mind. Imagine a boy is playing a computer game. FIFA. The boy is so into it that when someone scores against him, oh no, he thinks it's the whole world. The parents are watching and they're just laughing because they're watching it from a detached perspective. But then there's a saintly person who's watching the whole thing from an even further perspective. This person is seeing the world through emotionality. These people are seeing the world through emotionality and rationality. But this person is seeing the world emotionally, but more than that, rationally, but more than that, spiritually. Therefore, the saintly person, their mind never wavers because they've ejected themselves from this world and they've ejected themselves from this world. And what they learn to do is instead of identifying with the mind, they learn to identify the mind. And therefore, so many things can be happening around them, so many things can be happening in their life. Stita pragya pratistita, Krishna says, but they remain steady because they're seeing everything from a detached perspective. So remember, Krishna is telling us to rethink life. People will tell you the mind is the root of consciousness. That's wrong. The mind is the root of consciousness. It's coming through the mind, but you are separate from the mind. The world will tell you create a life that looks good on the outside. Krishna will tell you create a life that feels good on the inside. Otherwise, smiling faces, crying hearts. The whole world will identify with the mind. Krishna is saying, forget it. Identify the mind. And someone will think, I have to stop my mind from straying away. Not possible. You have to stop your mind from staying away. Your mind will stray. Yato nischalati manaschan chalamastiram tatastato niyamyetad atmanyeva vasam. Krishna says the mind will wander. Doesn't matter. Keep bringing the mind back. And in this way, Krishna tells Arjuna, you can live in the world and you can learn to control your mind. And if you learn to control your mind, you will be in the top 0.001% of the world. Because most people have not learned this art. And so, can you see how genius the Bhagavad-Gita is? Is teaching you the most important things in life. Redefine success. Re-understand who you really are. reposition your lifestyle and remold your mind. And people tell us, I read the Bhagavad-Gita when I'm 70. How can you live life without this knowledge? This is what most people are doing, and therefore most people are going nowhere fast. Therefore, Krishna says to Arjuna, learn the art of how to remold your own mind.